Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at another of the Beasts of the Mesozoic Raptor figures. I actually have had these for quite a while and just have slacked so bad at getting them up on the channel, which is unfortunate because they are honestly absolutely beautiful figures. This one, as you can see, is the 1/6 scale dinosaur figure of the Raptor series, and it is an accessory pack. And as you can see, it is the Wetlands environment with the Buitreraptor. I may be saying the name wrong because I'm not very familiar with the species, and I apologize if I did mispronounce it, but I think it's Buitreraptor. So let's pop this open and take a look at what's inside. So on the inside of the box, you've got some nice instructions here to basically put the entire thing together. It tells you how to insert the ball pegs into the base and how to remove them if you need to, along with all sorts of other information all about this set, as there is quite a bit here to put together before you actually can view the entire diorama. And on the inside, you get this very cool image on the opposing side of the actual environment that this entire scene would be occurring in, the wetlands environment, and it looks super cool and overall is a very cool addition to this already awesome set. So then, we actually have all the pieces out, and as you can see, there is just a ton of stuff laying here to put together and make this scene come to life. So I'm gonna try to do that really quick, and then I will come right back. So I am not going to lie to you guys, I am absolutely garbage, apparently, at trying to put this set together, just because the plants I feel like are a little bit difficult to get on for me. I don't know if I'm just not doing it correctly or what, but there's like a little ballpoint type deal that you slip into a hole, and then you slide the hole that is the little peg sticking up into the plant, and I can't really get them to stay on very well. They kind of fall off pretty easily. And again, I don't know if that's just me not figuring it out correctly or what exactly is going on, but once you do have it put together and you're not moving it around or anything, the entire set just looks beyond cool. I love the fact that they include a nest here. As you can see, the nest is really beautifully sculpted, and the eggs just look super cool. They are a bluish coloration, but they kind of have like a brown speckle. I don't know if the speckling is supposed to be part of the color of the eggs, or if that's just maybe some mud that's been splashed onto the eggs. Regardless, it still looks really cool, and as you can see, there is a hatchling there coming out of the egg. It is emerging right there in front of you, so that helps for the overall appearance of the set to just look a little bit more alive and pretty darn cool, I will say. The plants themselves are also really nice looking. They definitely have a beautiful appearance. Some of them almost have a translucent type of a look, as you would kind of be able to see through the open areas of the plants in certain spots. You've got some type of ferns and other sorts of vegetation all over, and I think they are beautifully painted with many various colorations of green, and they look very real, I will definitely say that. The actual grass and kind of mossy area underneath also looks really beautiful, and you can see that it's like a dark green. Actually, I'll pull the nest off here. You can see it's like a dark green primarily, and then they've dry brushed maybe a light green over it to help bring it to life. And then you can also see how beautifully painted the actual ground itself is. It's a nice dark wash included with a blackish color, and then a very dark brown, and a few other variations of brown actually throughout, again helping it look very realistic, and the overall appearance of this really looks fantastic. The water itself has an absolutely incredible translucency to it, and even the rocks themselves have been given a beautiful gloss to help make them look very realistic. You can actually take note of different variations of color inside the water as well. I think the water really looks incredible on this and is a beautiful touch to a very cool looking diorama. As I turn it, you can really take the whole thing in and just see how beautiful it is. You can also take note of like footprints here and there of the Buitreraptor actually running through. I assume that's what that's for. And then you can see also this broken off tree that is laying here in the edge of the diorama. Again, you can see as I touch some of the plants, they are moving because I'm just not good at connecting them at all. You can see right here there is a peg hole, and then if you look at this, there you go, you can see there's a little peg sticking up, and I just for some reason can't really get them to line up correctly. So I don't know, I'm just not very good at it, I guess. You can also rearrange the entire set so that You can maybe put this plant over here if you would like, and the other plant over here, and, you know, switch it around, and then include this splash of water here, which also looks really, really cool, and place a raptor's foot in it to make it appear as though he is splashing and running through the water. So that's another very cool touch. You don't have to include the nest if you don't want to. You can just have a very cool looking Wetlands diorama itself. So the entire base looks awesome, and there's so much that can be done with it that really makes this whole set have such a very cool and unique appearance compared to anything else I've ever seen. You also have the option of having a long peg for your raptor, and then there are some other little dealies over here that you can switch it around so that you can have it stand on base however you would like. So it's really up to you how you want to display it. If you would like to have the raptor down low on the ground or up high jumping, I am pretty content with it down low. You can also see the actual small base here looks very good as well. Nice green swampy type mossy area, and then you've got a little rock there, and then of course the clear peg that does hold the raptor in. So let's go ahead and get a closer look at the actual Buitreraptor. So the sculpting of the head looks really, really good. There's some very nice detail and some beautiful feathering that you can see start to transition into the head as you move back the snout. The overall sculpting of the feathering looks really nice as well. The eye is painted pretty nicely. It's a brownish color, kind of rings around the eye actually, and then the eye itself is that same similar brown, and then there is a black pupil. I don't know if that is supposed to be like that or if that's just kind of a little bit of sloppiness on the part of the paint with the brown ring around the eye, because you don't really see it on this side, but the pupil does look really nice, especially on this side, and it has kind of a glossy type of an appearance to it, so that helps to give it a little bit of realism. There is also black paint in the nostrils, which also kind of has a gloss to it, which again adds that extra bit of realism. The jaw is articulated. It doesn't open too wide. You can see that the paint on the inside of the mouth is a purplish color, and the teeth are very nicely painted in there. Looks beautiful. There's not really any sloppiness with the teeth, which is a plus. And then primarily you've got a few different colors here. It starts with a green here on the snout, and then it moves to a very beautiful blue, which helps to give the head a very striking look, and it has kind of a white stripe right behind the blue. Then you get to black, and then there's like a white cheek area which runs down the throat and turns to almost a goldish brown right before transitioning to a pure brown. And then the upper part of the head also has black, and then as you move down you can really get an idea of the nice ruffling of the feathers here in the neck. So it's very nicely sculpted out and detailed. Then once you get down here into the body, you can see that it primarily is a brown, almost chocolate brown, but then there's this very light brown that's been dry brushed over certain areas to really bring out the detailing and sculpt work of the feathers, and I think that looks very nice. It was a very nice choice as far as the overall paint application on this raptor. You can see that the arm here is very nicely sculpted, and the feathers on the arms, and I guess you could pretty much call them wings, looks really nice. As we move this out, we'll take a look at the underside here. You can see that the hands are nicely sculpted out there. The nails are beautifully painted. There's no real sloppiness. The underside has a nice yellowish color as far as the wing feathers go. And then you can also see here that the black area has been dry brushed, I think possibly with that same yellow, but very lightly dry brushed, really bringing out the detail very nicely. It also kind of has a brown wash a little bit too, which helps to give that same effect, and it's also the same deal here on the upper part of the wing, and you can really see how very nicely detailed the actual feathers are, which would be like flight feathers. They look very beautiful. Lots of incredible sculpt and detail there. Then as you move back the body, you can really kind of get a sense of many different tones of coloration as far as the browns go all throughout, and again that very nice dry brushing as you run down the thigh here of the Buitreraptor, and there's some nice musculature you can really take in from there, some nice calf muscles as well. And then you get down into the foot. The foot is primarily just a grayish color. There's not really too much else that's going on there. You can see the nice nails are painted beautifully. Very nice sickle claw as well. And then you can move out the length of the nice very long tail, and the beautiful feathers here at the tail look very nice, and it's that same style sculpt but that same style paint as well with the brown, and there's actually appears to be a few different tones of brown, and then there's like that light orange almost type of a brownish color that's been dry brushed over the edges, and then the inside here, that center, has kind of a yellowish appearance. so that looks really striking, really beautiful. The entire underside is primarily that yellow color, but it's not quite as thick as you see up here. It's a little bit of a lighter shade, I guess, and it's kind of just been dry brushed on. It looks really, really nice though, and that's primarily it for the entire body color. Really looks beautiful though. The sculpt looks fantastic. The only difference I think that you could say on this side as opposed to the other side would be that this leg is bent back as it's running along. The legs here are not articulated at the joints of the knees, so they are stuck in this position where the leg here is lifted up and it's running. You can kind of get a sense of the musculature there though, and you can really see how nicely done the overall sculpt and paint here is of the foot on this side. And that sickle claw is really up and ready for some action here. And overall, I think it looks really, really beautiful. A great Buitreraptor, which is a very obscure species. You just don't see get figures ever. So that's kind of the point of these beasts of the Mesozoic raptors, and it's true to life right here with this very amazing looking figure. As I said, you have this little base type deal. You can stick the raptor on there, snap him in, and he stands really, really nicely. So we will get a size, but the size isn't going to be perfect as far as the height, because I'm going to have to measure the height on this little base here, and as you can see, it is holding him up off of the ground a little bit. The raptor itself will not stand without a base, so the only way to really measure its height is to do it like this. For a length though, you can see it is about 6¼ inches, or about 15.5, almost 16 centimeters, probably about 16 centimeters. And then for a height, as I said, you are looking at about 3¼ inches, or about 8 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is the Papo T-Rex, and this will help give you a good idea of the small stature of this Buitreraptor. It is a much smaller figure. Compared to the other beasts of the Mesozoic raptors, even, it is really, really quite small, but I think that's also due to the fact that the species is small in general, and you also get so many different additions to the set when it comes to the base, so they chose to include such a beautiful, really extensive base to go with a smaller raptor, so that was a very cool choice. But again, our Papo Rex helping to give us a usual size comparison right here. So this set overall is really, really cool. I am a little bit on the downside as far as keeping these plants and stuff connected to the base. I feel like it's a little bit difficult, and if David Silva goes this route again in the future with dinosaurs and the bases, maybe he'll have a little bit better way of connecting the plants that would help them stay a little more stable. I think at this point it was kind of a learning experience, because this was the initial run of the Beasts of the Mesozoic, so it was all new. It was an all new idea, but a very, very cool idea, and I love the way they've done it. Very cool execution. I just think that there are a few little tweaks that could be made for future Beasts of the Mesozoic figures that might help them out a little bit, like the connecting of the plants to the base. That's really the only confusing part to me as far as this model goes, because I think everything else is pretty straightforward. You should be able to figure it out. The overall appearance of the model is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Everything is so wonderfully painted and so very realistic looking that you have to just absolutely take it all in by taking a step back and just looking at the entire diorama. It's something that is super cool as far as displaying purposes go, because this is the kind of scene that is really striking to me and honestly just kind of takes a page straight out of history and then brings it to life right here for you. The Buitreraptor itself is really beautifully painted, just like all of the other Beasts of the Mesozoic raptors. It really has a very realistic and beautiful appearance to it. I know David Silva gets his inspiration, or at least did for the raptors, from different birds, so the appearance of the animal actually itself should look pretty natural and very realistic, and I think it definitely does. The paint applied all looks really beautiful as well, very nicely and naturally applied. It looks like body color, not paint on a figure, so that is another huge plus as far as this goes. I love the addition also of the splash of water if you want to use other raptors in this. It doesn't look so great for this raptor, but a larger raptor I think could really benefit from that splash of water, and I think it makes the entire thing just look so super awesome. I really do love this set. The water itself looks so cool, the way it's translucent and you can kind of see tones of coloration down underneath the water. Everything just looks so real, so beautiful. And again, this is a really amazing set. The Beast of the Mesozoic figures are just super awesome. The only thing that is a little bit of a downside to the Buitreraptor itself is the lack of articulation compared to a lot of the others. You do have the articulated jaw, and the wings, of course, move. The legs move forward and back, and the tail is articulated, and I believe also has that flexibility in the tail. Yeah, so you can flex it up and down and everything, but that's really all the articulation you've got. You've got neck, the jaw, the wings, which are on a swivel. You could probably swivel them all the way around, and then the legs move forward and back, but you don't have too much as far as joint movement like in separate parts of the arms and wings or the legs like you do in a lot of the other raptors. But again, it's a smaller raptor, and it does come with this beautiful diorama as well, so it really is still pure gold as far as I'm concerned. If you do want to buy this set, I will link you in the description to the Beast of the Mesozoic website where you can pick this up for yourself. It is definitely an absolutely striking appearance to it and a really beautiful set overall. So go ahead, check the description, follow that link on over to purchase this for yourself, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.